Yeah, hi there. My name's Mike, and I'm one of the co-founders here at Riddle. And in this video, I'm going to show you how you can use and get the most out of our question bank feature. Now, the question bank is a feature we developed in close consultation with our publishing partners who often told us that they had the same problem. They said, look, we get it. Quizzes and interactive content, they work really well, but sometimes we just don't have the bandwidth, the number of employees to keep creating new content on a daily basis to keep our audience engaged. And we said, okay, well, let's create something that'll help. And in this case, we created a question bank. Now, a question bank essentially is a database of questions that you can upload and show a random assortment of questions every hour, every day, every week, based on the parameters you set. So it's really, really easy. And once the data is in the system, you have a lot of flexibility in how that's displayed and how questions are shown to your users. The use cases are great. It's great for trivia junkies. You could do it for educators. If you're doing a lot of questions to have them review a subject, you could say, here's 1,000 questions about biology. If you're doing sports trivia, here's 1,000 questions on sports from the Olympics to the NFL to the Premier League. So many ways to do it. You could also do quiz competitions tied into our leaderboard function where it's like, okay, hey, we're going to show a new set of questions every day and keep coming back and you'll keep getting points and that adds to our leaderboard. There's a lot of ways to use this, but back to what we're talking about. To add a question, I'm going to show you the slowest way first, but then I'll show you the best way. The slowest way is to do this manual option where you say, okay, I'm going to add a categories, maybe it's Asian geography. Great. And then how hard is this question? Is it easy to hard from 1 to 10? Maybe I'll say this is pretty difficult. You add a title. Okay, so in this case, I've typed in the correct answer. I've also typed in the wrong answer. Maybe I'll add a couple other wrong answers as well, Paris, and so on. You can also add an explanation and a title if you want to provide some additional context to the users. But that's pretty much it. So you've added one question. That's not great if you want to add 1,000 questions. That's a very painful way to do it. So what I would recommend doing instead is click on Create Question Bank and do it from a file. Now if you have a database, you can just do it that way, which is absolutely fine. However, if you don't despair. The AI prompt template is a great option because what you can do is say, hey, AI, present this mix of questions based on the parameters I set. Okay, when you are creating a question bank, you need to keep each type of question separate. So if there is only one right answer, a single select, that is a different type of data than a multi-select where there might be multiple correct answers, or order it, put these in the right order, and so on. But the concept is very similar. In this case, I'm going to say, okay, I am going to use this AI prompt and I'm going to copy it. And I'll pop over to Gemini and just say, okay, great. I'm going to enter this in here. If you come down here, we have variables where you just say, you know what? I want 50 single choice questions based on Asian geography. And I can never type if people are watching. So there we go. And then in this case, you just pick the language and that's all there is to it. And then you're away to the races. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. So right there, that was 50 questions. So generating the questions is not difficult. Once you have the questions into Riddle, then what you want to do is say, well, if you have a CSV, you need to upload it. So in this case, I'm going to upload the file that I've already created. So I'm going to upload. And in this case, these are single select questions. So I'm going to upload a file of questions. In this case, it is quiz output with explanations because I created this demo file to demonstrate how you can also add answer explanations. Do I want to import them? Yes. Great. And then I'm going to view and edit. And there you have it. There is our question bank with all the questions I've added. You'll see here we've got difficulty, we've got question title, the correct answer, and so on. You can always edit answers. You can delete them. You have a total freedom and editorial control over what you display to your users. Then what you can also do is down here at the bottom left, you see these are single select questions in this question bank. I also want to add a different type of question. So I'm going to import another type of question. In this case, I have made a multi-select. These are all science questions with more than one correct answer. So in this case, I'm going to import that. Import it, great, to the question bank. Here's a very important thing. So down here, we have is your question bank ready? Yes, or you can also go to publish and publish it. But what you need to do, this is very important, you need to publish it so that we know it is actually live. Okay, so there we have it. So now we have a question bank with I think around 70 or 80 questions. Now let's actually use it in a quiz. So in this case, I'm just going to pop over here and I'm going to create a quiz. I'll just create this one. When you are creating a quiz, a question bank is just another type of block. And when you scroll down here, we have a dynamic content block called a question bank. And then you just select the question bank you've already created. In this case, it is 60 questions. So I have quiz output with explanations. It now knows, okay, these are the questions we want to work from. What you can do is say, okay, well, of these types of questions, which one should we use? We're going to use single select. And now it's going to go and say, well, okay, we have single select. What category should we use? I'm going to use general. How hard should they be? Should they be super easy? Should they be a mix? I'll keep it like this. How many questions should there be? So you have a lot of options. And you can also do more than one category. So maybe you have 5 general questions, 5 science, 5 history, things like that. In this case, I'm also going to collect the multiple select blocks. And I'm going to say, okay, well, I'm going to select the scientific method and I'm going to pick physics as well. I'm also going to say, you know what? I want to have 2 from the scientific methods. Oh, in this case, I only have 1 question from there. But you can see the control you have over this. So in this case, we have 5 questions around general knowledge. We have 1 scientific method and 4 physics. Now here's the fun part. You can also go, when you click on this gear icon to open up the options, you have how often should we show a new set of questions? And in this case, you can say, you know what? I want to have it to be time-based, which is what we recommend. And how many hours should we have it refresh? 1 hour, 10 hours, things like that. In this case, 24 hours, it will show a new set of questions that match this parameter or these parameters. So that'll build another 10 questions. If there were enough questions, 5 more general knowledge questions, another scientific method question, and so on. So what we recommend is, if you're using AI in particular, is to create a really big and deep data set. And then whenever this refresh interval happens, you'll always have a new set of questions to be done. You can have more than 1 question bank in a riddle, just like everything else. It's very flexible. You can always mix and match the formats. The leaderboard we talked about, you can add a form here, and you could tie that over to a leaderboard, which we talked about. So there are a lot of use cases, but that's the question bank. If you have any questions around getting the most out of it, do ask us on support chat. We love being helpful for our quiz community, and we can also come up with some suggestions around a particular use case for what you need. All right, thanks so much, and happy riddling.